Friends, welcome to Sound Money. Before we start today's topic, I'd like to ask everyone to just slow down a bit and take a deep breath. What we're going to talk about today isn't just numbers, isn't just price quotes, but an important message about the financial security of each and every one of us, of every family. We live in an era full of variables, which I am sure we all feel, but right here today, we are collectively witnessing a historic moment that will go down in the history books, friends. Think about it. We work hard and hustle our whole lives. We save and scrimp. What is it all for? Isn't it just for a sense of stability when everyone's having tea and chatting on a normal day? You might occasionally hear that gold has gone up a bit, or the stock market has moved a little. But what happened today, in the financial history of the past several decades, can be called an extremely rare spectacle. This is a magnificent era of the three golds resounding together. It is not just the gold we're familiar with, that is rising silver, and even the usually more low-key platinum have all on the same day simultaneously hit new historical highs. What does this mean? This means that the big funds all over the world, managing hundreds of billions or trillions, now all share a common premonition. They are using the money in their hands to vote, voting for those things that can be seen, can be touched, and will still be valuable after 1,000 years. The eldest, gold, is the most stable. The second, silver, is the most active. The third, platinum, is the rarest. Today, these three brothers have simultaneously taken up the baton of history, especially the main character we're going to talk about today, silver. Many people used to think that silver was just an accessory to gold, calling it the poor man's gold. But today, I am going to use this entire video's time to break it down properly for you all, that this is a huge misunderstanding. Silver's explosive potential, often in a great era like this, can be even more astonishing than gold's. It is more like a dark horse that is usually low-key. But at critical first, let's take a look at today's report card. According to the current real-time market quotes, the price of gold has been pushed to a high of nearly $4,954 per ounce. Everyone, think about it. This number was unimaginable a few years ago. Gold is acting like a goalkeeper, protecting the financial dignity of holders worldwide. And what really caught our eye is silver. Silver's performance today was simply like an unbridled wild horse, with its single-day increase surprisingly breaking through 2.6% or even higher, and the price shot straight to the mark of nearly $99 per ounce. Everyone, do the math. If you had 100 ounces of silver in your hands, how much would your assets have quietly grown in just one day? What is even more surprising is that even platinum, which normally has the lowest production and the most specialized applications, also followed suit and rose to $26.58 per ounce. Me friends, everyone, first have a sip of tea, and let's savor the logic behind this. Why would these three metals hit new highs at the same time? It is like when we go to the wet market. If only cabbage prices go up, it might be because of a typhoon. But if cabbage, Napa cabbage, and water spinach all skyrocket together, then it is not an issue with the vegetables, but a problem with the money. When all the world's major currencies, whether it is the US dollar, the euro, or other currencies, are losing their purchasing power due to excessive money printing, wealth will, like flowing water, automatically seek the sturdiest container. And gold, silver, and platinum are the sturdiest containers of wealth that nature has bestowed upon humanity. Let's take another look at the US dollar index, DXY. Currently, the US dollar index is declining from its high point, hovering around 98.3 at the moment. A weakening US dollar is like the tide. When the sea level drops, the hardest reefs that emerge from the water are precious metals. Governments and major central banks around the world are quietly increasing their gold and silver reserves. Since those brains managing national wealth are stocking up on silver, if we follow this major trend, we usually can't go wrong. Some people might ask, isn't it already too high now? Friends, when we look at the market, we can't just look at one day's fluctuations. What we need to look at is the big picture. As long as the whole world is still over, issuing currency, as long as the situation is still turbulent, the long-term rise of these physical assets is an inevitability. This isn't speculation. This is a form of wealth self-protection. Next, I want to have a good chat with you all about why silver has been so special in this recent price surge. Many people's impression of silver is still stuck on silver coins, silver necklaces, and silverware. But friends, the silver of today has long been given a brand new, modern soul. It is not just a symbol of wealth. It is also a necessity for the progress of modern civilization. Everyone, think about it. What are the most popular and most government-supported industries in the world right now? It is environmental protection. It is green energy. It is high tech. First, let's look at solar energy. Right now, many places are developing green energy, those rows and rows of shiny solar panels. Do you know what the most crucial conductive material inside them is? It is silver. Silver is currently the most conductive metal on Earth. If you want to make solar power generation more efficient, you have to use silver. Currently, the global solar industry consumes a huge amount of silver production every year. Second, let's look at electronic communications. The cell phones in everyone's hands, the computers at home, the hottest 5G communication devices right now. All of their precision circuit boards can't do without silver. Third, let's look at electric vehicles. A regular gasoline car might not need a lot of silver, but the amount of silver required for an electric vehicle is double or even more than that of a traditional car, because electric vehicles have more electronic components, more conductive contact points. This is the most amazing thing about silver. It has a dual identity. First, it is a safe haven asset. Just like gold, when the world is in chaos, it is money. Second, it is an industrial essential. When the world progresses, it is an essential component. After gold is mined, most of it is locked away in bank vaults, and it is rarely consumed. But silver is consumed in large quantities in industrial production. Once it is made into solar panels or electronic components, the cost to recycle the silver from inside them is very high. What does this mean? It means the demand for silver is increasing like crazy, but its inventory is decreasing year by year. This is why silver is the hidden champion. When big money realizes now that we're done talking about data and technology, let's talk about the emotional side. Did you guys see those exquisite coins? Seriously, that luster, that feeling of weight in your hand, it really has a kind of magic besides buying those 1 kilogram silver bars. Many professional enthusiasts prefer to collect these kinds of silver coins that have a story. Among these, there is a type of artwork called the hobo nickel, and it really made me deeply understand what the depth of wealth means. Look everyone, these coins are not mass-produced by machines. They are carved by engravers, stroke by stroke, onto the coins, creating exquisite skulls, ancient chieftain portraits, or even futuristic mechanical designs. Why am I bringing this up with you guys? Because wealth isn't just about the weight of the metal. It also contains culture, craftsmanship, and time. When a silver product is given artistic value, it gains a unique soul. I often chat with my friends, and I say, saving physical silver is like saving up pieces of peace of mind. Whether it is the 2025 Morgan silver dollar or the peace silver dollar, that symbolizes hope. When you line them up neatly, pick them up one by one to polish them, that solid feeling is completely different from looking at the numbers in your mobile banking app. Digital assets are convenient. But have you guys ever thought, what would you do if one day the network system has a problem or your e-wallet gets hacked? In the most extreme moments, a silver coin or a silver bar in your hand is the hard truth that can best be exchanged for supplies and a sense of security. This is why I've always emphasized that physical assets are king. We're not chasing some illusory numbers game. What we want is a sense of security that you can lock in a safe pass down to your children and grandchildren and exchange for life's necessities at any time. I have a friend, he said he ordered some silver coins from the mint, even though each coin costs 91 US dollars, and it might be even more expensive with shipping, but compared to the current spot price in the market that is rushing towards 99 US dollars, that is what you call vision. This teaches us one thing: you need to have foresight in financial management. While everyone else is still watching and waiting, you are already quietly making arrangements for your family. That is wisdom. Saving silver is actually a form of psychotherapy too. When the situation outside is a mess, and the news is just endless bickering every day, you open your safe. Look at those silver coins emitting a calm, silvery glow. Your heart naturally calms down. You know that no matter how big the storm is outside, you've already prepared a safe harbor for your family. This richness of spirit is something money can't buy. Now, let's broaden our horizons a bit and look at the whole world situation. Friends, we have to understand why people all over the world are scrambling for gold and silver right now. There is only one core reason. Money isn't what it used to be. The US dollar that we often talk about as the world's benchmark currency, its authority is facing an unprecedented challenge. The US dollar index is declining, which means the purchasing power of the US dollar is shrinking. This is like a pot of chicken soup we cook at home. It was originally very rich, but because more and more guests are coming, the host just keeps adding water to the soup. Although the soup still looks like the same pot, the flavor has become bland and the nutrients have been diluted. When the world's major currencies are all being diluted, a great migration of wealth happens. Big money will pull out of virtual stocks and bonds and turn to the most real things. The current global trend is de-dollarization. Many countries, like some of the big nations we know, are reducing their US dollar reserves and frantically buying physical gold and silver. Since those who control the lifelines of nations are doing this, we common folk follow this trend, not seeking great wealth, but just to prevent a lifetime of hard-earned savings from being devoured by inflation. Some people might worry it has risen to 99 US dollars now. What if it drops to 80 US dollars tomorrow? Friends, if you are thinking of buying today and selling tomorrow to make that $2 or $3 of short-term profit, that is not called investing. That is called gambling. And the risk is very high. The purpose of our Sound Money is to teach everyone how to do asset allocation. What is allocation? It is diversifying risk. Your family's assets shouldn't all be kept in the bank. Take out a certain portion and exchange it for physical silver. This is buying insurance for your wealth. Even if something major happens to the economic system out there, as long as you have these hard assets in your safe, you can trade them for food, for medicine, for a stable life for your family. This is the wisdom of taking precautions. Our generation has been through hardships. We know that things in the world are unpredictable. Since we foresee the inevitability of future currency devaluation, making some preparations now is the greatest responsibility to your family. Speaking of which, I know many friends are already eager to take action. But before you jump in, I have a few words from the heart that I hope everyone will take to heart. When it comes to managing our finances, the number one priority is always stability. First, absolutely do not go all in. Although it is exciting to see the three golds all rising at once, the biggest taboo in investing is to throw all your money in at once. The method I recommend is small amounts, in batches. It is like collecting rainwater. You don't wait for a downpour to go out, but rather, whenever you have a little bit to spare, you exchange it for a little bit of the physical asset. This way, no matter how, you can also visit professional coin shops more often there. You are not just buying stuff. You can also meet a lot of like-minded friends. Learn how to tell real from fake, how to preserve silver coins to keep them from oxidizing. This is a very meaningful, deep interest. Stacking silver is actually an investment in foresight. When everyone is madly chasing after those new concept stocks, they don't understand, or even some ethereal virtual currencies, we choose to return to the most ancient, most reliable metal. This isn't being conservative. It is a deep understanding of the true nature of wealth. After the great waves wash away the sand, what is left in your hand will always be this shining, real gold and silver. And besides, silver right now compared to gold is really such a great deal. If you want to save up a future education fund for your grandchild, or want to leave a valuable gift for your child, a few dozen beautiful, exquisite silver coins are definitely way more meaningful than a few gift certificates that could expire at any time. For us, what we pursue is no longer those empty titles, but real, tangible assets that endure. What we want to protect is the fruit of a lifetime of hard work and sweat. Our generation has experienced the era of material scarcity and the glory of the economic takeoff. We know that money doesn't come easy. So, when we face major shifts in wealth, we must hold on even tighter. Physical silver is our family's emergency fund. When the market is calm, it sits quietly in the safe, like an old friend not making a fuss or a sound, even letting you forget its existence. But when the greater environment becomes turbulent, when the paper money outside is flying around like scraps of paper, this old friend will step up and become your most solid backing. I don't encourage everyone to borrow money or use leverage to buy gold and silver. That deviates from our original intention of sound money. What we want is that sense of stability from having silver in hand and being calm at heart. Some friends regularly organize their silver coin collections, looking at that silvery luster, reflecting on the accumulation of wealth. And this is actually a kind of self-cultivation. What we are cultivating is a sense of composure when facing risks and a sense of control over our future lives. We don't need to compete with others over those high-risk things. We have our own rhythm, our own wisdom. Silver, this kind of thing, gains more charm the older it gets, just like our life experience. If your family hasn't allocated any physical silver yet, I suggest you, at this critical moment when the three golds are rising together, take your first step. It doesn't have to be a lot, even if it is just buying a few exquisite silver coins. This is also an important milestone for you on the path to physical asset protection. This isn't just for appreciation. It is for adding an extra protective shield for your family. Looking to the future, the story of silver is far from over. As humanity's reliance on clean energy and precision technology increases daily, the demand for silver will only snowball, getting bigger and bigger. And we also know that the Earth's mineral resources are finite. This huge gap between supply and demand will be the strongest driving force for the long-term upward trend in silver prices. More importantly, as the global monetary system is reshuffled, the status of precious metals as the ultimate means of payment will once again be universally recognized. On some day in the future, when everyone re-examines what real money is, every ounce of physical silver in your hands will shine with a respectable glow. So, my friends, please cherish every piece of metal, every silver coin in your hands. Regardless of whether the external price is rising or falling now, its intrinsic value is engraved in its physical properties. No one can take it away, and no one can erase it. What we are buying is not a virtual dream, but a tangible future, a most responsible commitment to our families. The value of silver will become more and more precious as time goes by. It is like aged wine. The older it is, the more fragrant. It is like wisdom. The older you get, the more profound it becomes. Let us advance steadily together on the path of sound money. All right, after chatting so much. Actually, what I most want to tell everyone is the meaning of wealth isn't about how many numbers you have, but about the freedom and peace of mind it brings us. The simultaneous rise of the three golds we saw today is a wake-up call, reminding us to pay attention to the devaluation of currency. It is also an opportunity reminding us to value physical assets. Silver, this once overlooked poor man's gold, is now showing its dazzling brilliance. Saving silver isn't just about saving money, but a form of foresight for the future. When we leave some exquisite collectible silver coins or a batch of solid investment silver bars for our children and grandchildren, this is not just the passing on of wealth, but more so a hands-on lesson in financial wisdom. We are teaching our children what it is that can travel through time without decaying and becomes even more precious through the vicissitudes of time. Friends, I hope that today's extra long sharing can help you, amidst the chaotic market trends, rediscover that long-lost sense of composure. Don't be fooled by the current fluctuations. Keep your eye on the major trend. Hold on tight to your hard assets, and your life will naturally become more prosperous and more secure. Outright, today's long talk is almost over, but our journey to protect our wealth has just begun. The simultaneous rise of the three metals is not a coincidence, but a prelude to a new era. The value of silver is something that every one of us should re-evaluate and cherish. That is all for today. If you feel that today's in-depth analysis helped you see through the fog of the market and put your mind at ease, please don't forget to give me a like, which is the greatest encouragement for me. Please also subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends who are also worried about their retirement funds. We will continue to be here, acting as the lighthouse on your path to wealth, helping you watch over every storm and surge. No matter how the world changes, I hope everyone can eat well, sleep well, and be able to laugh. I am your old friend. See you in the next video. Wishing you all peace and safety.